Hi, folks, and welcome to another Sunday morning Samoflange. I'm Matt.
I'm still Benjamin.
Yeah.
It's Saturday morning.
Well, all right. So we freed slaves last week.
We tried.
What did you do last week?
What do you
That's
mean?
what I'm saying. I'm asking our listeners.
What did you do last week?
What did
Let
you
me
do?
tell you what I did.
Merry Christmas. So we're gonna go back to page 44 here, and we're gonna find, because what happened was we decided to free the slaves, and that was a bad mistake. But we went upstairs, and we had to walk the plank and died.
The mistake was by Edward Packard in writing this crappy book.
This is not very good. It's not like the last one.
This was not
The last one
as
was
well
pretty
written,
good.
right?
Even though, except we thought the future was kind of lame, and she obviously didn't care that much about the future. In that book. That was the only lame thing I'd say.
Yeah.
The saber-toothed tiger has been the best thing about this.
Saber-toothed
And look, I
dying.
noticed something. Saber-toothed tiger is on the cover.
Ooh, we got the cover image.
So
And now
obviously, I think
look, we got the cover image as well of us steering the ship. So it looks like if we go on deck, we're probably going to be
then
the
no one
captain.
will be there. They've left us alone, and we have to survive.
Are
for
we
the
going to
winter
be
on
the
ship.
captain of a slave ship? Oh my God!
Let's find out. Okay, go to page 76.
This is awful.
This is let's go 76. Let's
Okay.
captain this.
Let me out! You yell as you knock on the small door above. Before you can yell again, a small
Yeah.
older man with a red bandana around his neck throws open the door. Where did you come from? What are you doing in there? Tell me now! He yells, practically in your face.
Same thing.
Should you tell him the truth that you are from the 20th century and stumbled into this place through the cave of time? Before you can consider other possibilities, the man drags you up onto the deck with a dazzling sunlight. He pushes you towards a bunch of sailors who are pushing. Here I was thinking I was on a roll, and then I just went and ruined it with this great splatter of Samoflange all up in this.
Oh no.
Pushes you onto the bunch of sailors who are sitting on the deck playing cards. Look what we have here, a stowaway, he says with a chuckle. Must have slipped on board at the last port in Africa. Laughing, his friends begin to push you from one to the other. Please don't hurt me. I'm a lost orphan without a family or home. I want to start a new life in the new world, in America. Let me tell you what we do with stowaways, jeers the man you first encountered. Please, you scream. Turn to page 91.
Okay. Looks like we're not doing any better.
Not yet.
All right.
Just then, a well-dressed man walks briskly toward you. The seamen instantly rise to their feet. Don't you men have better things to do? Back to work with you, or I'll give you no rum tonight.
No rum.
Grumbling, the seamen disperse. I am Captain Montague Ward, the master of this ship. This is the worst pirate accent I've ever instantly come up with.
Master of the ship.
I
Sorry.
didn't know you liked Les Mis.
Oh, yes.
As the man, he pulls you to your feet. And who are you? And you repeat the story about being an orphan. Captain,
And where were you when I was freeing the slaves?
Right? Leads you to it. And why? Why are we even being nice to a slave ship captain? Like,
I
screw
know.
this guy.
Oh, he seems nice.
Leads you to his quarters and gives you food and drink. You were very foolish to sneak into a ship like this, he says. These men have little regard for human life. Arr. I'm trying to redeem myself. You might think the same of you, sir, judging by what I just saw below decks. So now you're going to insult the man.
Good deal. That's a good choice.
Good
Salt.
choice so far.
Oh, what page? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Turning to page 38.
38 now. Okay.
The captain flushes with anger, but you must have touched the right nerve because the anger quickly leaves his face. He heaves a great sigh. The truth is, my young friend, I don't know what I'm like anymore. This guy is not a pirate. He looks very English. He's got like the straight up
Okay.
the wig and the...
Oh, this is the picture we saw a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
All right.
Commodore.
He's an Englishman.
Yeah, the English one.
Okay.
That's no... let's see. I don't know what I'm like anymore. This pirate just keeps changing his voice all the time.
Yeah.
Years ago, I got into this business by chance. I needed the money. That's no excuse, you say. Don't you understand that... Wow, I don't know if I can say this. That's no excuse, you say. Don't you understand that blacks think and feel no different from white people? They're no different. This is wild.
Keep going.
Okay. This is written by Edward Packard.
This is a different age. Keep going.
1985.
Keep going.
And holy smokes.
His heart's in the right place. Keep going.
I guess. That's no excuse, you say. Don't you understand? Oh, not doing it again. But of course they are. But of course they are, the captain snaps. They are more like animals and... No, they're not! You cut him off. You get a little emotional, and your voice trembles a little. Have you been down on the lower deck? Yes, of course, says the captain. Then how can you pretend that they aren't human? Have you looked at their faces? Have you?
How dare you?
You don't understand. You are too young. One day... No! I'll never understand. I'll never understand you and your kind.
I'll never join you.
I'll never join you. That's impossible.
Where to now?
45.
Wow, still one choice and we've
Still
made...
one choice in here. We just
45, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
In a few days, the ship arrives in Boston. Now, in the year 1726, you are ready to start a new life. As you watch the crew leading the slaves off the ship, you see Captain Ward standing by. You thank him for allowing you free passage for this trip. What's the matter?
Keep going. Keep reading.
You are welcome, he says, and I thank you. This is my last trip on a slave ship, you can be sure. Oh, we've convinced him. We've turned him around.
We just skipped.
We've
just
changed
skipped
his life.
time. Things have happened now.
In that moment, you look into his eyes. You are content.
Oh.
You have not changed history, but at least one man has faced the truth, the humanity of these people and their fight to freedom, and can lie to himself no more.
No, shut up, really?
I'm not kidding.
Okay, so think about this.
Look at this.
In this one full adventure, if we did this whole thing, we would have gone to the future, found our way through the cave, gotten to the caveman, then found our way back through the cave into the slave ship and ended like this.
Gosh.
If we follow that rationale.
That is absurd.
Because this is finally... Okay, so let's go back. I don't know where to go back here.
I don't either at this point.
I'm a little
I'm hesitant to
overclapped.
even finish reading this.
I want to go...
I want to find at least
Go
one
back to 95.
good ending.
Go back to
crying out
95 because
loud.
I can't remember where we were on 95. But this is one that we didn't follow down because we went too far down
If
the
you
rabbit hole.
decide to land on Earth anyway, turn to page 37. If you ask to be redirected to Sintra, turn to page 14.
Oh, this is back in the future.
This is back in the future when we chose the past and got directed
Thank
to the future.
goodness. This is where we wanted to be. So go 14.
Yes, because we were going to be
Yes.
redirected to Sintra, which
Let's
was the
do that.
paradise. Sintra was the paradise place.
I hope so.
Right?
Let's do it.
We can redirect you to planet Sintra, which has an environment similar to Earth that one used to have.
Okay.
This is what the robot just told
So let's
you.
go to Sintra then. Back
right.
to the future.
Go ahead. Maybe you can't hum it too much. You
Doc!
get copyrighted.
All right, get going.
I'm back from the future. The moment you instruct the computer to redirect you to Sintra, you feel a thrust of acceleration. It's as if you've suddenly weighted 300 pounds, and the price of rapid travel through space. It's more than an hour before you slowly resume your former weightlessness.
Oh.
The capsule has stopped accelerating and is now coasting at what enormous speed you cannot tell. As you are relaxing, a buzzer sounds and words appear on your video screen. Stand by for hibernation treatment. When you come out of hibernation 83.5 Earth years from now, you will find yourself on the planet Sintra of star number 8,777,389.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there's another comma, and it slipped into the next sentence, so it's actually 8 trillion,
Oh, well.
773 billion, 389 million.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, a highly stable Class C star in the Milky Way galaxy. Sintra is one of the most beautiful, abundant, habitable planets of the galaxy. Conditions are almost identical to those that existed on Earth in the late 20th century. Drifting into hibernation, you try to imagine what life will be like on Sintra. So we're going to be in hibernation for 83 and a half years,
Okay.
it looks like.
A lifetime.
And that's how long it's going to take to get to page 26.
Oh, okay. There we go. 26. Here we go. Now we're getting somewhere.
Your next sensation is a dull electric shock in your head, and then another, and another. You flail your arms as if trying to brush away a fly. You want desperately to go back to sleep. But there's no chance of going back to sleep. The mild shocks persist for a few moments. Then you hear a loud, lively music playing in your ears. And when it stops, a voice that sounds suspiciously like Dr. Vakeman from Ghostbusters speaks. That's all made up. I like adding in extra little flair because this book is so...
Oh, I know. I know when you make it up now
it's
because
bad.
he's kind of bland.
You are awakening from hibernation. Your spacecraft has landed on the planet Sintra. Atmosphere and temperature are well suited for human life. You may open the hatch whenever you want. As you slowly regain your senses, your mind is flooded with questions. What sort of people live here? What kinds of animals and plants? Will there be radio and TV? You hope that there will be kids your own age. You can't wait to see on page 78.
Yes. No choices.
None.
Good.
We have a new illustration, at least.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh. You stretch, sit up, and look out the window. What a sight!
Yeah.
On one side is a cluster of brightly painted houses. On the other, a beautiful park rimmed by giant ferns. In the center is a magnificent fountain. You throw open the hatch and breathe a clean, fresh air. At the same time, several large, tear-shaped cars silently approach your capsule, smiling and waving as they hold out great bunches of flowers. The inhabitants of Sinfla joyfully greet you. The end.
You serious?
I am so serious.
You made one choice and nothing. Okay.
And here's the best part.
What's that?
There is no reference whatsoever in the Some of this book is all about the pictures.
That really bugs me. Oh, you go.
Thank you.
Page 32.
This is absurd.
Page 32. If they hate the future, don't put it in there.
They
All these
don't
books
even-
hate the future.
Oh, they do.
All these books hate the future. Page
Man.
32.
Celeste 433 shakes her head.
No. What's the choice?
That's 32. Is this 42 I should be at? The choices are if you shuttle to Alpha Alpha, turn to page 54.
Okay. 50.
If you choose to shuttle to planet Earth, which we did last time, turn to page 94.
We're going to 54 now.
54.
We're going to Alpha
We're
Alpha.
Shuttling to Alpha.
There's got to be a
Alpha.
planet out there, where everyone looks like Cindy Crawford. Circa 1985. Get one.
I'll choose Planet Pepsi, you say. That's actually
Yes.
Alpha Alpha. Very well then, and good luck. Even as Celeste 433 is saying goodbye, you're blanking out. When you were writing, that's what it says. When you awaken, you find yourself already on board the space capsule. Through the transparent dome, you see a myriad of stars and even the neighboring galaxies, with a clarity that is found only in outer space. Directly before you is a luminous cloud. It looks like a million sparkling drops of water suspended in space. As your space capsule approaches the object, you see that it is not a cloud at all, but a planet dotted with thousands and thousands of lakes. Could this be Alpha Alpha? You look around your capsule, but there are no controls, no communication equipment, no food, no even water. Your entire flight has been programmed. Surely your destination can't be that far away, or you would starve to death. 62.
Oh, boy.
Your heart leaps as you begin to notice little flashes of light jumping from one part of the planet to another. One flash comes right at you. You blink, but it's harmless. Perhaps they have already sensed your presence by now. Being so advanced, the creatures on Alpha Alpha should have no trouble bringing your craft in for a safe landing. But your course soon veers away. With a heavy heart, you watch it slip to one side. Ahead, there is nothing but a few distant stars. You try to hold back your tears, and then you consider that the most advanced civilization surely would be based on love and not cruelty. You can't have reached it yet, but you won't give up hope. The end.
What? No.
Lost in space like Darth Vader at the end of part 1, man. Part 4.
I used to be 5 minutes ahead of my life. All right. Let's go back. We're done.
Did
We're
we
done with the
consider that a
future.
good
That's
ending?
That's the no.
Okay.
That's it for the future. Oh yeah. That we're out of this whole
Out of
time,
all
taking care of
this?
time. We're out of all this
Being
peace and quiet by
trapped,
ourselves.
quote unquote, 5 minutes into
I
the
don't
future.
know. The coolest thing so far has been the saber-tooth tiger death, just because the saber-tooth tiger looked really cool.
It looked really good.
I bet we turned around and saw it and went, cool, before we got that. That's the last thing we said. We're gonna do what they say and go back to the cave of time on page 49.
I'm still kind of flabbergasted by.
I mean, that was we eked out the rest of the future thing, so we're done.
So on page 49.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were determined to get back to the cave of time, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because we don't have a choice.
Determined to get back to the cave of time,
Yeah.
you climb the mountain, winding around the boulders, stopping from time to time to rest and look around. Once you catch yourself sniffing at the air as if you were an animal. You wish you did have a keen sense of smell, but you don't. At least your eyes and ears are as good as most of the animals are. You look around and listen, but you can't hear anything. And then you realize you're stalling. You're afraid to climb the mountain, afraid to face the cave bear. You start climbing again. The days are getting colder. Winter is setting in. Soon the country will be in the grip of ice and snow. And now, as you climb, you feel a raw chill of wind, and you see the first flakes of snow tumbling down. Again, you feel the urge to turn back, and again you force yourself to keep climbing.
Yeah.
Climbing.
We made our choice. We're sticking with it.
As the last cave is before you, you approach it with extreme care, trying not to make the slightest noise. Stepping inside, you duck around a rock pillar. You don't want to be silhouetted at the cave entrance. It's the breathing you hear first, the steady heaving of a massive chest. The bear sleeping.
Oh, I thought it was me.
Right. $36.
Okay. 36, you said?
Right. And, you know, we did it again. Like, it said we're going to have to jump right over it. Like, shouldn't we have the choice whether or not we try to jump over the bear?
Nope. There's no choices here.
Sticking
It's-
with
you think
status
this is
quo.
called Choose Your Own Adventure?
Right.
It's called Do What I Want.
Just do what I say.
Simon Says. Simon Says doesn't matter what you want to do.
I don't know. I'm just picturing, like, Luke in that frost cave and, like, seeing the...
Could we cut the bear open and spend the night inside him?
I mean, something.
Be nice
but-
and warm.
What was the name of that thing? The
Wampa.
The Wampa. Like, just
Yep.
imagine if you walk in and you see the Wampa and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to jump over it.
I'm
Like,
going to have to jump over this thing.
this
Yeah.
is freaking great.
All right, so 36.
Even as you are running, the bear is stirring. Now all I can see is the Wampa. By the time you are only a few steps away, it's sitting up and it's rubbing its eyes, looking like a huge, lovable teddy bear. The bear must have started hibernating. It doesn't seem very active, but it's totally blocking the tunnel. In a few seconds, it could come alive and break your neck with one swat of its paw. Instinctively, you wheel and retreat towards the entrance, although you're aware that the bear can outrun you. Remembering the wall-climbing feat of the Neanderthal boy, you veer to your right and leap upon the first projecting rock. In the dim light, you see a notch in the wall where you can get a foothold. As you climb another notch, a terrifying roar fills the cave. The bear is wide awake. You scramble up the high wall, knowing that the bear can easily reach 10 feet. They could stand up and pull down a basketball hoop without even stretching. You manage to get into the recess of the rock, safe for the moment from the bear raging inches below you. Your whole body shudders as you realize how close. Once again, you have entered the cave of time.
Yeah, that's what we've been trying to do this whole time.
We're turning to page 77. This is killing me, man. You're killing me, Smalls.
Killing me. Yeah,
Literally.
2 pages ago, it says, "Do you want to go back to the Cave of Time?" Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
bro.
well, let's just give
get
it all this other
to
stuff
it.
because it doesn't matter.
In a dimly lighted, smelly room amid a pile of thick ropes and chains. Whoa.
Okay. What?
I just wish I could have a video record of what I just saw. Like, thick ropes and chains. And I looked up and you're like, okay.
Okay.
I mean,
We've had worse.
it's Tuesday. You know?
It's Tuesday.
It's fine. I'm used
Let's
to
do this. Goodness gracious. Another Tuesday.
Whew. In one direction, the room is much narrower than the other. The floor, ceiling, and walls are all made of wood planks, and the whole room is moving up and down from side to side. An oil lamp hung from the ceiling swings into the motion. You realize that you are aboard a ship from another era.
No.
Leaping to your feet, you stare into the eyes of a man with a half-grown beard that only partly covers a long scar across his cheek. "Ho ho, a stowaway," he says with a grin, exposing a mouth of broken and missing teeth. "You You must be a clever one to stay hidden for so long. Well, come with me to see what Fletcher Christian thinks of you. Turn to page 97.
Oh my gosh.
Who is Fletcher
We're
Christian?
on another ship.
We are. You follow the man up the ladder and take a welcome breath of fresh ocean air. You're on a ship, all right. A sailing ship. By the crudeness of the sails and gear, the old-fashioned rig, and the iron cannon mounted on the deck, you can tell that the time must be well worn over 100 years into the past. Your eyes fasten on a large boat mounted on the deck. Its stern is painted the name Bounty. Oh, no. We're on the Bounty.
Mutiny on the Bounty.
Yes, sir.
Oh, no.
You realize that you were on a ship from the famous for its mutiny that occurred in 1789, when most of the crew joined the first mate, Fletcher Christian, in taking over the ship. The mutineers, you remember, put Captain Bligh and those loyal to him on a small, open boat. Their only hope of survival lay in rowing over 1,000 miles to the nearest inhabited island. As the seaman leads you aft, you notice two of the ship's officers bound to the foremast. A tall, shirtless man is standing near the helmsman, talking heatedly to a group of sailors. He hands them each a knife and a cutlass. So this is the notorious Fletcher Christian. With a shock, you realize the mutiny has already begun. Turn to page 112.
Okay. I bet all the ship's crew had a choice on what to do.
Ready then, lads? Christian turns to the others. But mind you, there will be no bloodshed. Turning to another man, he says, Stills, lower the boat. As Fletcher Christian is barking out orders, the seaman has begun leading you closer. A stowaway, sir, he says loudly. Oh-ho, says Christian, staring at you with piercing blue eyes. You start to explain that you didn't mean to be a stowaway, but you found yourself tongue-tied. After all, who would believe that you got on the Bounty through the cave of time? Christian looks at you with a quizzical but friendly expression. Well, I admire your spirit, so instead of throwing you overboard, which is what you deserve, I'll give you a choice. Well, that'll be a first. You can join us in taking over the ship, or you can go with Captain Bligh in the boat. Go with Fletcher Christian, shouts Captain Bligh, and you'll follow him straight to the gallows. If you join the mutineers and risk hanging, turn to page 101. This is on page 112.
Okay.
If you join Captain Bligh and risk starving to death, turn to page 71. So the only way...
I'm going to go with the Beastie Boys reference, because Mutiny on the Bounty is what we're all about.
Yo.
So we're going to go with the Mutineers. Okay. 101. I have a bad feeling about this.
I had a bad feeling about this. I'll join the mutiny, you say.
Yes.
Thank you. That is very plainly...
Through clenched teeth, we say this.
I guess. Very well, says Christian. Then stand clear, because there may be swinging of cutlasses before the morning is over. I don't know what this pirate voice I've got going on is. A few moments later, two seamen lead Captain Bligh to the rail. A third holds a knife to his throat. Other seamen lower the longboat. One of the officers, loyal to Captain Bligh, lunges at Christian, but the new master of the Bounty stops him with an upraised dagger. After that, Bligh's men climb quickly into the boat. Bligh himself stands at the top of the ladder. A hush falls over the mutinous crew as Bligh searches out each man's eyes with his own. In a firm, hoarse voice, he says, I may survive and I may not, but it's certain that every one of you will hang for this. Turn to page 104.
Oh my gosh, okay.
The crew is silent. Bligh turns and climbs down into the boat. The lines are cast off, and the long boat rapidly moves away as its occupants pull on their long, heavy oars, setting on what seems to be like an impossible search for land. The Bounty swings around, and the men pull on the running ropes, trimming the sails as the ship sets a new course. Fletcher Christian puts you to work chipping rust off the anchor chain. While you work, you have the chance to talk to a friendly seaman named Tim. They call me... Tim?
Good. Good for you.
Greetings, Tim the Enchanter. Okay, that's not true. We're bound for Tahiti, he says in response to your question. We'll be taking on supplies, but we can't stay long. If Bligh ever reaches land, the whole British Navy will be looking for us. He draws the edge of his land across your throat to emphasize his point. Where will Christian take us, then, you ask? Tim stands up and looks towards the horizon. He spits fireballs from his hand and explodes. No, I'm just kidding.
No, my goodness.
He's mentioned an island, Pitcairn it's called, big enough and fertile enough to sustain us. It's remained uninhabited because the entire coast is rock-bound. There's no safe place to anchor a ship. As you consider these thoughts, you wish you were somewhere else.
His name is Tim?
That's what it says, man.
Wait. Tim Curry?
Tim Curry himself.
Is with us.
Yeah.
From Muppet Treasure Island?
No, from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, okay.
And the
What's he
Three
doing on the ship?
Musketeers.
Okay, keep going.
All the same, you're thankful not to be in the longboat with Captain Bligh and his followers. Turn to page 25.
Okay.
Try not to kill yourself. A few days later, the Bounty reaches Tahiti. We have a new illustration, though. This is not good. This is not a good illustration.
No.
Don doesn't do well with faces on this illustration. Yeah, we're on the boat still. You marvel at the beautiful green mountains jutting out of the sea, the long arc of white sandy beach fringed with coconut trees. A fleet of tiny boats is headed for the ship. You stand transfixed at the rail, watching the boats, the smiling faces and upreached hands. Suddenly, Fletcher Christian collars you. "Lock the stowaway in my old cabin," he orders one of the men. Turning to you, he says, "I don't trust you not to tell about what happened out there." A sailor leads you by the arm and locks you into the first mate's cabin. Through the porthole, you can see the beautiful island and even smell the fragrant scent of jasmine wafting through the water. The porthole is too small for an adult to climb through, but you might fit through. If you wait until nighttime, you might be able to climb out unnoticed, dive overboard, and swim to shore. The island doesn't look that far away, but you don't know how strong the currents are. Besides, how can you be sure that a shark won't get you? If you decide to wiggle through the porthole and try to swim to shore, turn to page 12.
What page is
This
this,
is
by
on
the way?
page 25.
We're on page 25 right now?
Yes.
Oops, sorry. All right, so...
Wiggle through the porthole is page 12. If you stay on the ship, turn to page 53. So, it warned us twice. It said it might be sharks, might be currents. You don't know how far away it is. It's trying to tell you don't wiggle through the porthole. However, under normal circumstances, I would say this is a choose-your-own-adventure book, and we have to be adventurous.
Okay, go for it. Which one are we doing?
That's page 12.
Do it.
If we stay on the ship, it's 53.
Do it.
All right. This is one of those where I just want to see if there's a the end or not.
I'm just imagining Tim Curry with us, but keep going. I'm comforted by this.
I am too. That's a better story.
Anything's a better story.
That evening, you squirm away through the porthole and drop onto the deck. Because the ship is anchored, only one man is on watch. You can see him standing on the afterdeck, gazing up at the moon. Keeping low, you work your way to the bow. The water looks black, except for the shimmering patches of reflected moonlight. You climb over the side, grab hold of the anchor chain, slide down bit by bit, and drop quietly into the sea. With strong, firm strokes, you swim steadily towards the shore. A flash of light startles you. It's just a patch of phosphorus, but it makes you think of other perils. With each stroke, you wonder whether or not a shark or stingray may be about to attack. It's a pretty good illustration.
That's a nice ship, yeah.
It's a nice ship on the moonlight.
Yeah.
Dancing with the devil.
On pale moonlight.
Page 18.
Page 18, okay. Intriguing.
So
Tim's not with us anymore.
Unfortunately.
Let's do the time warp.
Oh, it is Tim Curry this whole time.
Tim. We've been doing the time warp, and we don't want to anymore.
Can we just let this movie be over? That's kind of how you feel at the end of Rocky Horror, too. You're just like, oh, what's happening right now? They didn't know what to write.
They didn't know what to do.
Okay, it's not long before you feel yourself tiring. Looking back, you see the Bounty riding peacefully at anchor. Land seems no closer than when you started out. For a moment, you think of trying to make it back to the ship. Then you realize that the current has been carrying you along the coast. Your only hope now is to make it to shore. You remember to relax, stroke gently through the water. That helps. You feel calmer. Maybe you'll make it. Still, you can feel your strength ebbing away. Soon it looks like you won't make it after all, and then you hear a sound up ahead. The rhythmic slap, slap, slap of the waves on the tiny island, just a strand of black coral jutting out of the sea. You swim with renewed energy. In a few minutes, you'll gratefully haul yourself up, flop exhausted onto the dark coral, and quickly fall asleep. Turn to page 110.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Flippity flip.
Flippity flip.
All right. New illustration. We've made it to China. It's Tahiti, I think, but
All right, let's go.
even
Let's do
still.
it.
Hours later, the morning sun awakens you. You're about half a mile from the main island, but there are many small boats nearby. At the far end of your tiny reef is a boy wading through the shallow water looking for crabs. You notice each other at the same time. He pulls his boat up on the reef. Smiling, he calls to you. You walk to meet him. Pointing to himself, he says, "Mauli." You point to yourself and you say your name. Then you point to the bounty, and again to yourself and make motions as if you were swimming. And then you point first to yourself and then to the bounty, and then move your hand under your chin as if someone were slicing your throat. Mauli understands. He motions you to follow him and lead you back onto his boat, where you spend a couple of pleasant hours helping him catch crabs. When the sun is so high that you are afraid it will burn off the tops of your ears, Mauli rows you ashore and takes you home to his thatched hut, where you meet his parents and sister and their goats and chickens and pet tortoise. That's right, not a turtle, a tortoise.
Tortoise. Okay.
Almost at once, it seems, you are accepted as one of the family, until you turn to page 15.
Okay.
I think. Let's find out. A few days later, standing on the hillside overlooking the sea, you watch the Bounty weigh anchor and set sail. You never find out whether Christian Fletcher and his crew of mutineers found a safe island, or whether they were captured and hanged by the British, though you do learn that Captain Bligh and most of his loyal crew survived their perilous journey in the Bounty's longboat. As for you, though you miss your family and friends very much, you could hardly enjoy life more than on this beautiful island of Tahiti, where work is like play, strangers are soon friends, coconuts are free for the picking, and you can sail and swim until you're so tired that the minute you lie down on your straw mat, you're floating in a happy dream. The end.
We're on a straw mat. I'm not happy. I'm pissed off. My back hurts.
So far, this is the best ending we've ever had.
You think so?
Yeah.
For Saturday?
Boring.
Samoflange?
Terrible.